You know what, also? I'm gonna do something I've been meaning to do for a very long time. That's actually level this properly. It's such a good piece. I need to get it to 20. Yeah, I'll just ditch one of these. Another one. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Huge! That's insane. Holy fuck, that's insane. That's actually that's like my second highest DR, I think? Third highest, but still. That's huge. It's on VV too. Calm down? Fuck you. Best Fab Kazuha. It's not great on Kazuha because you'd rather have an EM main stat. It's just a good off piece. Or it can be used on like Hazo or Farazan if you end up using them. Or Jean, I guess, yeah. It's just a good off piece for Fab. Venti as well, yeah, sure. Alright, chat, let's take a look at the leaks we have for the 4.4 Abyss, which is not the next one, it's the one after. Please shut up. Okay, what the fuck? No. No! 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 Why? No! No! So, this is going to be very annoying. The reality is that in terms of how difficult it is, it's not going to be that bad because I mean, out of these, right, WENUT is going to be the hardest one. But at least it's on the same side as the other single target bullshit, right? At least. So once you get, and on chamber 1 is going to be a lot squishier than on chamber 3, right? Like that's something that people don't talk about that often, but if you have the exact same enemy lineup, it'll be a lot easier on chamber 1. Obviously, it'll depend on how many enemies there are in the first halves, but like if you look at a level, so wait. If you look at a level 95 versus 100, right? That's like 20%. It'd be 20% tankier. Things in general are 20% tankier on chamber 3 than they are on chamber 1. So it won't be as cringe as it was the first time it was here. Which is good, at least. But This still fucking sucks. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This sucks. Because I think all three of these enemies kind of suck. WENUT is the worst one. By far. Snake is... Aeon Drake is fine. Like... It's made annoying by the fact that when you have 3 chambers, it can the team building restriction that it imposes on you can stack with other team building restrictions for other chambers. But there's no real team building restrictions for these, other than like you need to have an element, which is like gonna happen anyways most of the time. I don't think it's that bad in that sense. Yeah, like it would be a lot worse if the third boss was Wolf Lord, I think. But I think it would also be a lot worse if the second boss was Wolf Lord, even though I consider the Rune Serpent to be more cringe than Wolf Lord. Stacking restrictions, like Wolf Lord's restriction with Aeon Drake, is just dies of dies, right? So, yeah, I don't think Aeon Drake is that bad in this Abyss. How should we approach this Abyss to 36 star? Play official. Second half, yeah. And Yelan, you don't need both. Or Yelan. I feel like there's a lot of people that really overestimate how much damage they're doing. Because they have a normal 1-to-2 crit ratio, and they just don't look at the non-crit damage, and they just feel like it you know, I'm critting for 100k, that means I'm doing 100k per time I'm hitting. Because, like, specifically, I saw some comments on the Navia video from I mean, I saw one comment on the Navia video from Ningguang main, who was talking about the sort of damage numbers that do not sound very real. And I was talking about how my Ning's build is really bad. And, like, my Ning's build is not great, don't get me wrong. But when I actually build her for damage, right? She's on 2-piece. This is a reasonable piece. This is a good piece. This is a reasonable piece. And then my Glad pieces are also pretty good, right? Oh, fuck. Right. Gotta use this one. Dies of dies. There we go. Right? And, like, don't get me wrong, it's far from an amazing build. But builds like this, the numbers you see on screen are a lot smaller than if the crit ratio was 1-to-2, right? But the DPS is pretty similar. And I think it leads to a lot of people misunderstanding how much damage their characters are doing. Alright. I am Zaleft, the evil Australian version of Zajef might. True. Okay. So here's the thing about Jean, okay? what does she do in the story, right? She, well, in the Archon quest, doesn't do anything. Like, she is physically present when Venti and Traveler do things, but she herself doesn't really do anything. Now, outside of the Archon quest, in like the repair efforts after the devastation caused by Dvalin and the like Abyss Hoarder attack, and just in her daily life, she is characterized by working a lot. But like, a good leader is not the person who works the most. The main good, useful attribute of a good leader is understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the people who work for you, and dividing labor accordingly. A leader who cannot delegate is a terrible leader. And her one personality trait is that she can't delegate. Jean's boss left and made her do the job she isn't qualified to do. Even more reason to not be a fucking selfish dick, not be full of yourself, and delegate. Her aversion to being perceived as incapable, her obsession with what people think of her, leads to her work being significantly worse. To her putting in more work for less results. Now, does that make a character inherently bad? Not necessarily. Because, like, it makes her bad at her job, but characters having flaws doesn't mean that the character's writing is flawed. So what are her qualities or other flaws to give her a more balanced character? Oh, that was her only character trait. I see. Well, that's that. That's why I don't like Jean as a character. I think she is incredibly one-dimensional, and the one dimension that she has is just a pretty significant flaw. And it's like, at least one-dimensional characters where their one personality trait is like a quality rather than a flaw, they're boring, but they're not bothersome. She's boring and bothersome. Hello! Thank you, Zaleft. Zaleft just left. Hi, this is Zajef.